Hey Ravens, Kudisu here with a build breakdown of my latest AC, Jupiter Crush, an assault boost focused heavyweight biped. Let's dive in. There's a lot you can learn by playing with different builds, and as an AC pilot, I think it's important in developing your skills. I don't normally pilot heavyweight ACs, so this was an opportunity to study this weight class and the skills required to pilot them successfully, particularly the disciplines of sustained assault boosting and defensive assault boosting. Jupiter Crush was one of the few heavyweight ACs I used in Armored Core 3 that I can remember, so I used that as a jumping off point. In terms of build loadout, I started with a pretty standard POWERBAKA 20. While it gets docked for being a low skill build, there's a lot you can learn from it, especially around timing, positioning, assault boosting maneuvers, and energy management. While POWERBAKA got me off to a good start, I found it a bit too slow and cumbersome for my taste. And this is Armored Core. Of course, I wanted to put my own mark on this build and adjust it to suit my preferences. I started with frame adjustments. POWERBAKAs have AP and defense to spare, so my first build decision was to trade some defense for mobility to better suit my style. As I mentioned in my tenderfoot build breakdown, I've been practicing assault boosting maneuvers, so maximizing some mobility in this area was really important to me. I switched between the Mine Beta and Barrel Head. I like the look of Mine Beta more, but the defensive density of Varel cannot be denied. I used the VE40A core for its outstanding defenses, along with its supply adjustment, which cuts the SAN-TAI's recharge time down significantly. Another trade-off I made with this AC to free up weight and mobility is dumping the heavyweight arms for something that is very stat dense, but also very energy and weight efficient. So of course we're talking about the BASHO arms. These are an extremely stat dense arm, and of course their low firearm specialization is offset by the OCELLUS FCS. For legs, I started with the Tianjin, but ended up opting for the Desert instead. The decision here was to make a trade-off and spread out some of the defense over kinetic, explosive, and energy defense, and it also boosts stability a bit without sacrificing much in terms of weight or energy load. And in terms of aesthetics, I think these are fantastic looking Armored Core legs. You know what they say, thick thighs save lives. I do prefer the SAN-TAI generator for its fast recharge and large capacity for aggressive assault boosting tactics. For boosters, the P10 are a fantastic choice for assault boosting, but I also wanted to explore some other options, and I ended up really liking the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boosters on this build. While they are a bit slower in terms of overall AB thrust, they're still very efficient for assault boosting and quick boosting energy consumption. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5's long thrust duration gives it some extra mobility. I found these work really well for triangle boosting, which I've really been trying to get better at. The other reason I selected this booster was to address some spacing issues that would sometimes crop up at very close engagement. With the P10's longer reload duration and short, quick boost thrust duration, I sometimes found it difficult to create the space that I needed to start an assault boost maneuver. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s allowed this AC to create space and dodge more effectively up close thanks to its lighter weight for a heavyweight biped, and pairs really well with the SU-Q5 pulse shield to improve overall defensiveness. We're fighting up close and personal, so the OCELLUS FCS is still the targeting computer of choice. But I did make a few adjustments in terms of standard POWERBAKA equipment. I traded one ZIMM for ETSUJIN for a couple of reasons. One was to free up some weight and energy load while maintaining some ability to generate stagger. Plus, ETSUJIN is a great tool for wearing down opposing shields, which is a strong counter to dual ZIMM builds. I also traded one of the 10-shot missiles for the SU-Q5 pulse shield, free up some energy while also boosting defensiveness. I chose the SU-Q5 for its low cost and generous 1-second instant guard duration. Even though the Arquebus shield is superior in a lot of ways, I feel like I get away with using the SU-Q5 because of the overall high defensiveness of the build. I've also been experimenting with laser drones on this build, which helps against tanks and other heavyweight setups. Since Jupiter Crush needs less than a second to start recharging, it synergizes well with the SU-Q5 shield by mitigating that incoming damage during a recharge before assault boosting or quick boosting away. Since the base defense of this build is already high, the parry-style shield usage is preferred against high-threat attacks like Zimmermans, Majestics, Curtis shots, and melee attacks. In my experience, the SU-Q5 is remarkably resilient for its cost and offers great uptime when used this way. I've been surprised at how many things I've been able to parry with it without getting staggered. When running against kites and similarly fast builds, sometimes I'll jettison the SU-Q5 for that extra speed and energy. This is usually enough speed to give chase, and the NLT-10 really helps with pursuit. I also sometimes dump the shield against dual ETSUJIN builds, again to free up dodging capacity over shielding, since they chew through shields in no time. Despite its heavy weight, this build has been surprisingly mobile and versatile, and I've been really enjoying playing it and everything it's been teaching me. It does well against a variety of builds, including the common Zimmerman Rushdown, thanks to its pulse shield and the ETSUJIN. It can also confidently take on dual stun gun or Viento builds thanks to the SU-Q5. However, it does struggle against really fast kites and some very heavy, high defense builds that eat ETSUJIN and Zimmerman shots like popcorn and dole out crazy damage like larbsters. Even so, it's been a blast to play in PvP and PvE and has made it onto the coveted first tab of my saved AC loadouts. The last thing I'll talk about is the visual design. The original Jupiter Crush was orange, so I wanted to preserve that to some degree. I introduced an olive green to balance the orange and provide a more militarized look. I also wanted to see if I could make a pattern that looked like the swirling storms of Jupiter. This is what I ended up with, and I applied it sparingly across the core and legs. One thing I did not apply sparingly are the decals. I may have gone a little overboard and created custom decals for each of the equipped units. They're small, but I think they add some cool extra detail to this AC. Most of the decals are custom, but I did use a couple from the amazing site AC Companion. Check it out if you haven't already for some incredible build downloads and emblems. I wanted to experiment with some new decal styling and application techniques, so Jupiter Crush got peppered with some goofy stickers, but I'm really happy with the end result. That's it for this build breakdown. Check out the show notes below for the Steam download code and try Jupiter Crush for yourself. I hope you like it as much as I do. You can also check out my Jupiter Crush PvP and PvE playlist to see this AC in action. Don't forget to subscribe for more build breakdowns, piloting tips, and more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.